This screencast is about percentage problems. So I took quite a few problems from your book and from the online software, and let's try to solve these. The first one says Patrick took his parents to dinner and the bill was $70 plus a 6% tax. If he left a tip of 15% of the total, so after tax is added, what was the total cost of the dinner? So here I need to do a few things. First, I need to figure out what is the tax on the $70 bill. Well, we know it's 6%, so I'm trying to figure out 6% of $70. Or you can make a proportion. 70 is my total, so I'm trying to figure out how much is 6%. So now I'm going to pull up my calculator, and I know that 0.06 multiplied by 70 is $4.20. Or, if you set up the proportion, keep in mind that you're going to multiply both sides by 70, because I want to get x by itself, so I reduce that. 70 and 100 reduce to 10 over 7. I can do this work without a calculator. That's 42 divided by 10, which is 4.2. So I know that the tax on the $70 bill is $4.20. So his total is going to be 70 plus $4.20. 74.20. Now he leaves a tip, and that is 15% of the total, and it says food plus tax. So food plus tax is $74.20. So I need my tip, so that's 15% of the $74.20. Or 15 out of 100. I need to figure out this amount. Use my calculator again. 15% of 74.20. Of means multiply in math, so that's why I'm using multiplication. $11.13. In this case, I multiply both sides by 74.20 to get x by itself. So what is 74.20 multiplied by 15? That number. And then I divide it by 100. So it's $11.13. So that's the tip. Now it says, what's the total cost of dinner? So the total here is going to be how much he spent on food plus sales tax plus his tip. So that brings us to a grand total of $85.33. So that's how much Patrick spent. Here's another type of problem. In one season, a basketball player missed 14% of her free throws. How many free throws did she make if she attempted 150 free throws? Well, we know that the 14% stands for how many missed, which means what's the percentage of how many that she made? Hopefully you know that to be 86%. It's asking me how many free throws did she make, so I want to use the 86%. So I'm thinking 86 out of 100. She attempted 150. That's her total. I want to know how many did she make. So now I just need to get x by itself. Multiply by 150. I'm going to reduce already. I know that I can divide both of them by 10. Take off the zeros. And I know that 15 and 10 are both multiples of 5. 3 and 2 left over. I know that I can reduce the 2 and the 86. So now I'm left with 43 multiplied by 3. 43 times 3. 129. So 129 free throws made. It's vital that you think about whether the information you have is appropriate. So, or if I need to figure out the other percentage. So it's important to write this stuff right over here, so we have an idea of what these percentages stand for. Moving on to the third one. A student missed 6 problems on a statistics exam and received a grade of 85%. So ask yourself, 85%, is that the percent that she got right? Or is that the percent that she missed? Hopefully you recognize that the 85% was the correct, how many they got right, which means she missed 15%. The information given to me is that the student missed 6 problems. So if I'm talking about missed problems, I'm talking about 15%. 15 out of 100 is going to be 6 problems. I don't know how many total problems were on the test. Now, a lot of you are still struggling with this setup. You need to get x out of the denominator. In order to do that, you need to multiply both sides by x. That alleviates my denominator over here. And now I have 15 over 100 multiplied by x equals 6. Again, you want to get x by itself. So I could divide by that fraction, or I can multiply by the reciprocal. 15's reduce, the 100's reduce, and I'm left with just x. Whatever I did to the left side, I have to do the right side. So now I'm going to reduce these. So that's a 2, that's a 5. I can reduce 100 with 5. So that means x is really 2 multiplied by 20, which is 40. Now I can put these into my calculator, right? I could have done the 6 multiplied by 100 and divided by 15 in my calculator. I didn't because I'm using my number sense. I'm applying different rules that we already know. I know how to reduce fractions. So I'm going to do that. So this means x equals 40 is how many problems were on the test. Okay, let's try another one. Golf Pro Shop had a set of golf clubs that were marked on sale for $560. So hopefully you're recognizing that this means this is the price that you are paying. This was a discount of 20% off the original selling price. So 20% represents the discount. What's 80% represent? That's the price you actually pay. So in this case, it's giving me the price that I pay, so I'm using the 80%. Again, I want to get x by itself. I need it out of the denominator. I need to get x by itself, so I multiply by the reciprocal. I'm going to try to reduce these, so I know 10 goes into both of these. So now I have 56 and 8, and I know 8 goes into 56 7 times. So x equals 7 multiplied by 100 is $700. So that was the original selling price. Okay, let's try some more. The discount on a new computer was $100. So $100 is not the price that you're paying. This is the discount. This is how much was taken off. This was taken off the price. So I know that 22% represents my discount, which means 78%, 78% represents the price I pay. In this case, it's giving me the discount. So I'm using the 22%. 22 over 100 equals 100 over X. That's my original price. I'm going to multiply both sides by X. Give myself a little more room. Reduce, reduce. So now X equals, and try to reduce these as much as I can. I know that 2 goes into 100 as well as 22. And I can't reduce anything else. So this is the case where I'm going to use my calculator now. 50 multiplied by 100. And then I have to take that number and divide it by 11. So that means 454.545454, etc. It asks me to round your answers to the nearest hundredth. So remember that it's tenths, hundredths. To round to that place, I look to the one next to it. So that means my answer rounds to 454.55. That is the original price. The next question asks me, what was the sale price? Well, I know it was on sale for 22% off. I know that that was a discount of $100. So from my original price, all I have to do is subtract $100. So the sale price is $354.55. $100 off. The last part of this says, what would a customer pay if there's now a 5% sales tax added to the sale price? So I need the sale price, $354.55, and I need 5% of this. Or I could think about it as 5 out of 100. What is 5% of this? Multiply both sides by the denominator. Again, rounding to the hundredths. That's my tax. Now I have to add my tax, the 17.73, to the sale price. That computer that's on sale is going to end up costing you $372.28. Now, think for a moment about this this proportion. What if instead of 5%, I did 105% of $354.55? Think about what this 105% represents. It means you're spending 100% of the price, plus you're adding what percentage? 5%. So when I multiply and I solve for x, let's see what answer we get. That means 354.55 multiplied by 105 and divided by 100. So I get x equals 372.27. And when I round that, it becomes 372.28. Check that out. So I got the same price, and I did the work a little bit differently.